dishes with money.
Yeah, do you feel
Hell
like...
no, I'll wipe my ass with my fucking money.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Check it out on Venice Beach today. We did some great interviews. We talked to lots of different people coming from all sorts of walks of life, and you're gonna get their perspective. You're gonna see some of the decisions that they make, similar to the decisions that we make that might be sabotaging their future, or have a very healthy outlook and understand how to balance these short-term wants with these long-term lofty goals that we want to achieve, and really basically how you have to balance these things out. So check it out. It's gonna be a great video. Let's get into it. You're really gonna like it.
I don't wanna worry no more. I just wanna ball like the big leagues. I just want a nice house on the shore. I just want a big house like Gatsby. So kiss me if you can. I'm chasing after my dreams. I wanna be the man. I wanna be the...
What have you binged on expense-wise that would be like an expense hangover?
Wow, let's see, video games.
I feel like instead of spending money on groceries, I just spend money on fast food like day in and day out.
Food and booze maybe on the weekends.
Fast food, restaurant, Postmates.
Taco Bell.
That's like the worst fast food, by the way.
I know.
Weed, basically. I don't know, weed.
Yeah,
Marty
I
getting
just
scared.
felt like it was my responsibility to personally stimulate the economy.
I'll buy you food, or like you don't have to pay me back, and like I'll just get generous with my funds, which I do not have the funds to be generous with.
We bought a lot of things. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I was spending and spending. I'm like, damn. I can't go shopping no more. That's it.
I buy a lot of designer, you know what I'm saying? So like drop like
That is
5K
very
at the
designer,
Gucci
girl.
store sometimes, and then I'm like, why did I do that the next day?
Some Gucci, some Louis.
Okay, the high end.
Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
$5,000 on a exact replica of a Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo.
$5,000.
It was like a 72, and it literally had like 300,000 miles on it, but it looked cool.
Skincare products.
Okay.
Cute outfits for maybe fantasizing a time where I could go out again.
Hair dye, a bunch of quarantine binging purchases.
When was the last time you just took money and you just like gone on a spending binge and it felt so good, but then you were like, I probably shouldn't spend all that money?
Yeah, I returned that speaker for $400.
So you returned it?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I fall into your category that you're looking for, because I'm the one who is like overly frugal.
Oh no, that's good too.
I don't like owning stuff, so I never buy stuff just to have stuff. Like I don't have anything on my walls.
I'd rather stay broke and just have the sweater. I like it. It's nice.
So what did it amount to dollar-wise?
Oh man, I don't know, a couple hundred probably.
Couple
at
hundred?
least.
Okay.
The products came and I used the products to their full advantage, and
you had purple hair, and we
I
all
had purple
celebrated.
hair for a little bit, now I don't. It's just accepted that I kind of blew money on stuff that I don't have anymore.
Do you feel like a little bit of your soul gets eaten at when you just like, spend on things you know that you really shouldn't be spending on? Like, do you feel a little bit of like...
Yeah, man, of course.
It feels good to spend. You feel good to have things. I don't know.
Like I saw something that I liked and I just bought it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, I mean.
Right. So it's like that instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's like goes right to your brain, like this good feeling.
Like, I gotta have it.
So when you regret it later, what's that feel like?
It feels like shit.
Good. We like to feel wanted and like that we look good. So anytime that we purchase, or maybe it could just be for our personal comfort. You know what I'm saying? Like our personal comfort of just feeling good. I really think that's what it is, and just a good sense of mind of that.
But the crazy thing is it only lasts a little bit, and then afterwards you're like, ironically, you actually feel worse about yourself.
Yes, 100%.
Postmates, I'll pay for someone to
Right?
deliver it when it's down the street. Like I can go get food, but I just will
Like a $50
pay.
smoothie.
Yeah, and I'll pay the extra like delivery fee and the taxes, and it's like just because I'm lazy.
So let's say if you ordered Postmates, it'd be like $34. You could have spent $34 like making like a meal for yourself for 4 days.
Do you think about like financial independence? Like maybe if I didn't waste money on things like Postmates, Taco Bell, you know, like, do you think, like, have you ever thought, like, what if I just start putting some of my money away, like maybe investing it? Because I always look at it like every dollar I waste today, that if you grow it out, that's $6 in the future. So it's like more than the $1 that you're wasting or that.
100%. I always think that like I should do stocks. Like all of my friends do stocks, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm not. Like I have the potential to, but I just don't. And then I'll get Taco Bell instead.
Yes.
But it's like I know I could be saving, and I know I have a lucky opportunity and chance to with the job I have, but I again don't.
I could cut back on how much I smoke and that'll really help a lot.
Right, enough to get into your creative flow, but after that, it's like if you keep going, then it just like it takes away that balance.
Yeah.
If I invested that money for you, every dollar today that you invested is $6 in the future. I always feel like you start small, right? Maybe the first thing is like instead of like $200 on weed, and that 80, that goes aside, that goes into like a retirement plan for me, that goes into like the real estate fund. Sometimes it's just like bringing it back a little bit to change that behavioral pattern, because just once you get momentum, we have a saying, momentum is money. It's like just getting momentum, maybe just getting back in like $80 a week, then you start kind of wanting to like start saving more because you start to see the positive progress with it. So as opposed to being like cold turkey, you know, no more weed, like I think I would implode if I was in that situation.
That would be hard. When I'm buying an ounce, it's not like I'm smoking the whole ounce right then. So
we hope not.
Spending
spending
200 on it, I won't miss the $80 that I didn't get.
Right.
It'd be like, oh, I smoked all my weed. Time to get some more.
But there you go, but that's a small pattern you could change that, again, a little pattern like that gets momentum. You know, they say like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. I think it's kind of the same thing with changing the pattern in something like this that you're doing. So let me ask you this. So let's just say like you got to a point, you're like, you know what? I was inspired by this amazing video. This dude was just like a finance genius, me. And you're like, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on my car business. I'm gonna, basically flip cars, and I'm gonna start putting money away, just systematically saving, long-term investing, not getting rich quick. How do you think that would make you feel emotionally?
It would be straining at times, I guess, but overall, I know I'd be doing the right thing for my future and for whatever that entails, I guess. I don't know. But I like to see a quick result, so it would definitely kind of take a strain on me a little bit.
Oh, we're all guilty of that, right? Instant gratification.
Exactly.
It's an American quality.
But,
yeah,
I definitely got to train myself to get used to something like that.
Like, what could you do proactively right now, do you think, would just make you maybe internally take control of your life and some of these outside forces of like, I guess essentially Postmates and, and maybe doing more travel and the things that like just, and saving that would just like push your life forward.
I feel like I always see people like living their life and I'm like, oh, like I wish I could do that, and I'm the only person that's stopping me because I have my bad habits. But it's like if I could start budgeting and doing those things, then there's nothing stopping me from living the life I want to live and like going abroad for 2 years or doing whatever the fuck I want to do. Okay, so let's say we got rid of all the cultural bullshit, right, that we buy into, because we all do to some extent. Like you're saying, like you see them dropping 10 G's there. Let's say we get rid of all that shit. And like you decided, okay, like some of my money, I'm just gonna put it away so I can get that house. If you were like started saving for that, like you didn't buy into all the like, I need to own the $5,000 bag, maybe the $2,000 bag, but I took the rest of that cash and I like saved for that down payment so I could have a beautiful home later, which probably be more longer lasting maybe than that bag.
If I put a down payment on a house, I'd feel really good. I'd probably go drop $5K on bottle service, to celebrate a little bit.
Then you go and waste your money again. You go come full circle.
I got a great story. So this camera actually, I didn't know anything about photography, but I chose to invest. Fast forward a year and a half to now, I'm doing photography full time. I've got over 12 million followers across social media doing photography.
In 1 year?
Yeah, in 1 year.
That's incredible.
This $4,000 investment has made 100x that already. I'm not big on spending money just to spend money. There has to be a reason for it,
And it's almost like, and you're making, I'm assuming you make money from this venture now with all these people following you. You're actually making money being outside all day, doing what you love to do from a hobby, from investing in a camera that was just for your own self-amusement and your self-joy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't expect this to happen when I bought this camera. I was working an office job, really didn't like it that much. Now I literally have like over 11 million followers on social media, and I do this. I do what I love for a living.
I'm definitely gonna follow you, by the way. Yeah, I'm inspired.
I guess because I look at my future and it's like I need to be stacking. Like I want to own a house one day, So it's like that's how I feel like every time I miss work or every time I spend money on something I don't need to, because like I'm just trying to like save, to own a house, start a business, stuff like that one day. So.
Yeah, it's like you're going back in life as opposed to going forward.
Kinda, yeah. Sometimes,
yeah. So it's like the short-term dream instead of the long-term dream.
Yeah, sometimes. I'd be that sometimes. I guess like it's like a balance with everything, You definitely
Yes.
should always spend more than you save.
You should always spend more than you
Or I
save.
said that backwards.
You know what? I don't know if this is good financial advice. I don't know if I'm gonna hire you as my financial advisor.
Okay, wait, let me be a good financial advisor. Save more than you spend.
How do you decide like the things that you actually do spend money on, you enjoy, but you're putting money away in stocks, compounding your money in real estate and things like that?
Well, I think everyone has their vices. Some are better than others.
Right.
The way I look at it is that there's a lot of things that you can do in this life that aren't that expensive. You know, you don't have to go to Cabo or somewhere in Europe every week and have a good time. And I think that also includes bars, as much fun as they can be. There's plenty of stuff that you can do aside from that.
Totally. It's like, think about like the markup of going out to a night of drinking for 100, 150 bucks. And I always look at it like, you know, every dollar that you spend today, if you invested it, it's at least $6 20 years from now compounded, right? So $100 out is really $600 out when you actually think about it from that perspective.
You're proving my point. You're proving my point.
But you know, when you're only making a certain amount of money, there's only so much you can put away. You
Yeah,
might
but
as
if you
well
put away-
just enjoy it.
If you put away nothing though, like how are you gonna feel later? And I'm just asking, you might be right. Maybe who cares? Maybe, you know, say la vie.
For sure, no, for sure. I definitely, I believe in saving money, obviously. Of course.
Our skin would be upset because we didn't have the latest toner.
Exactly.
With those masks on, I can totally tell.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
I mean, look at that forehead.
All the
forehead
masks
doesn't look like that for free.
Yeah, that's actually, these are the shiniest, most beautiful foreheads I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
I would date you all just based on your foreheads. Yeah.
Well, thank
like,
you.
I don't care if you just had like 2 teeth and like fangs.
I
It
can
wouldn't even
own
bother me.
skincare
All about the
and
forehead.
socks.
Do you feel like it's the culture we live in sometimes? It's just like monopolizes our brain that we've got to own all this stuff. And like, in a way, it's like taking us away from like taking control of our own life and like getting those dreams that we really want.
Definitely, like, the media has a big part in that, you know? Like, you see people, like, flexing online, dropping, like, 10K on bottle service, so you're like, wow, like, this guy's so cool. Like, I have to drop 10K on bottle service to be cool.
It's like there's been a couple times, you know, like let's just say like you get like a good chunk of money and you just start going, you know what I'm saying, to the store and stuff, buying a whole bunch of chains, buying a whole bunch of everything, and you don't even really trip about it, you know, you're like whatever, because in the moment it feels good, you know what I'm saying,
super,
in the
yeah.
moment. But after that moment fades away, you instantly, like, you know, even a week or two later, you're like, man, I could have spent all that on something way more productive and done something way better with it.
I think that is a problem America needs to focus on, and actually the whole world, and to focus on financial literacy, to bring more money towards the world. People need knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, so I would say more mentors in the world. I feel the school system is designed to make you want to work a 9 to 5. and
That's
not
a good
teach you
point.
wealth. People need to be more conscious of where they're spending their money. You know, so it's not about so much about how much you make, but what you're doing with your money.
That's a damn good point, right? It's not, right, like there's people who make millions, but if they blow it all, they got nothing left, they got a problem. So like even if you're making less right now and you're like, you know what, if I was making millions, then I'd start saving. But if you just start with like whatever you have and you start building that up, that can be a very, very powerful force.
Correct.
I think, you know, the individualistic American who has to show off every single material in this world is totally overrated, and I think our world could probably be better with less of it. But of course, once you get to a certain age, you know, that's when you can start spending a little bit. But I'm only 22, so I'm not going to spend too much.
Like the most mature 22-year-old in the world, you carry yourself like you're 30. No, that's amazing, because I think you're right, the different levels. It's like, okay, at your age, like, do you really need trips to like Europe all the time? Do you need to go to Cabo every weekend? But maybe when you're 30, you've saved the money and you have a bigger budget, then like you could spend on those kind of things.
Well, I feel like a lot of people also do it, even at my age, like put it on Instagram or show it to anyone or whatever that entails. But I just don't really care about the cloud and showing off to people. I mean, there's a lot of cheaper things you can do that are just better. And I think
probably look just as cool on Instagram.
Yeah. I don't have too much wisdom yet. I'm not too old, but you know, just don't get too caught up in the consumer culture. Like you were saying, I think it's overrated, and there's plenty you could do. And saving money is a lot more fun, in my opinion.
Well, the way I think now, because I was definitely a consumer, bro. I mean, we live in LA. We're gonna consume, like we're gonna spend.
It's America, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm like, hey, what if I like, instead of the things I don't really need and like the things that don't really do me any better, why don't I just spend it on things that I know I'm gonna get a reward from instead of just wasting it, you know? And that,
Beautifully said.
like asset between liabilities, you know, what's making me money and what's not. Everybody knows that, they just don't want to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Until they want to actually change, or they hear a lot of people doing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's when it's only going to change. If you even take a little like small change, say $5, weekly from your like coffee and everything like that and put it into a stock, like a low stock, you would feel probably better about yourself because that $5 that you spend on coffee at Starbucks, it doesn't come back to you. But the $5 that you put into a stock comes back to you, even if it is like 20 cents for that whole day or like that whole week. But more than likely, if you invested into like a nice one, it's gonna bounce back.
Yeah.
Because the only thing it can do is go up. Like Starbucks, if somebody invested like $5 into Starbucks stock every week or like every day and just made coffee at home.
Be the owner as opposed to the consumer.
Yeah, exactly.
What a great way to be consumer culture. I love that. No, right? I'd rather be the owner of Starbucks stock than be the sucker who's going in every day for water and beans. Every dollar $6 later. Every dollar puts away to $6 later. like that's a powerful effect later.
Kanye said it best, you know what I mean? I'd rather be a dick than a swallower, so.
That's way better than what I just said.